My girlfriend cheated on me with her boss, and the worst part, our mutual friends knew about it and took her side. She tried to destroy my reputation by spreading lies, but with the help of new allies, we exposed her manipulations and made sure she lost everything. Now I'm living better than ever and helping others avoid becoming victims of toxic people like her. That hurt more than the betrayal. Friends who'd shared holidays had watched this unfold, and supported her. I opened the group chat we'd shared. Is this true? Reply from Nolan: dude, you're great, but Mia needed someone more successful. Lily added: we didn't want to hurt you. Maybe this is a wake-up call. Mia watched me, expecting fireworks. Instead, I smiled, calmly packed my weekend bag, laptop, charger, car keys, took my time leaving. In the hallway, she asked, where are you going? Out, I said. Keep the apartment. I'm sure Sam can help with the rent. And then I left. My phone buzzed as I drove away, calls, texts, explanations from those friends. I shut it off. And weirdly, I felt relief. Losing it all showed me what I'd truly lost. Update: I'm currently staying in a small B&B on the edge of town. Not fancy, but decent, and the owner, Mr. Patel, knocked €25 off weekly when I shared my story. After ignoring the phone for 2 days, I finally turned it back on. 29 missed calls, 35 texts from Mia, apologies from Nolan and Lily, but what really caught my eye were notifications from social media. Mia had posted a series of stories painting me as controlling, emotionally manipulative, a weekend gamer boy trapped in childish habits. A tear-stained video labeled me financially abusive, though I'd never held back our shared expenses. She earned more, but insisted on equal split. Then came a DM from Claire, an old coworker: check your email, something's going on at work. Company-wide HR email sent, citing safe work environment, oddly timed. I should have been furious. Instead, I felt intrigued. That hurt more than the betrayal. Friends who'd shared holidays had watched this unfold, and supported her. I opened the group chat we'd shared. Is this true? Reply from Nolan: dude, you're great, but Mia needed someone more successful. Lily added: we didn't want to hurt you. Maybe this is a wake-up call. Mia watched me, expecting fireworks. Instead, I smiled, calmly packed my weekend bag, laptop, charger, car keys, took my time leaving. In the hallway, she asked, where are you going? Out, I said. Keep the apartment. I'm sure Sam can help with the rent. And then I left. My phone buzzed as I drove away, calls, texts, explanations from those friends. I shut it off. And weirdly, I felt relief. Losing it all showed me what I'd truly lost. Update: I'm currently staying in a small B&B on the edge of town. Not fancy, but decent, and the owner, Mr. Patel, knocked €25 off weekly when I shared my story. After ignoring the phone for 2 days, I finally turned it back on. 29 missed calls, 35 texts from Mia, apologies from Nolan and Lily, but what really caught my eye were notifications from social media. Mia had posted a series of stories painting me as controlling, emotionally manipulative, a weekend gamer boy trapped in childish habits. A tear-stained video labeled me financially abusive, though I'd never held back our shared expenses. She earned more, but insisted on equal split. Then came a DM from Claire, an old coworker: check your email, something's going on at work. Company-wide HR email sent, citing safe work environment, oddly timed. I should have been furious. Instead, I felt intrigued. Stopped by our usual cafe, figured it'd be safe turf. Instead, the barista gave me a look that said I'd suddenly become an uncomfortable memory. Turns out Mia had been regaling customers with her version of events. Then I ran into Rachel, Mia's so-called best friend. She looked nervous, like she might leap into traffic. "Be careful," she whispered. "Sam isn't just her mentor, his wife is connected. And Mia's been feeding them a story, they paint you as unstable, maybe dangerous." "Why tell me this?" I asked. Rachel's eyes flicked around. "This isn't the first time. Mia and Sam pulled the same move on someone at the firm before. That guy disappeared, left town. That night, I started researching, legal records, LinkedIn ghosts. The guy existed. Felt both surreal and validating. Morning brought a call from our landlord. Mia tried to remove me from the lease, claiming abandonment. When that failed, she accused me of threats. He warned me, it wasn't the first time he'd seen this playbook. Then an Instagram DM, a woman in her 40s, dressed elegantly, said, "We must talk, my husband and your girlfriend. Coffee tomorrow. Signed, Mrs. S." I met her. She'd been collecting evidence, emails, text threads, expense scans, even security cam clips. Turns out Mia had done this before. Her pattern: seduce, manipulate, and spin. This would be her final piece. The annual holiday gala was coming up, and Mrs. S begged me to attend. At the gala, I arrived late, sharp suit, composed demeanor. The atmosphere shifted, familiar faces stiffened. Mia dropped her champagne glass. Mrs. S triggered the reveal. Lily, standing by her side, seemed ashamed. Then Claire stepped forward with her own screenshots, Mia bragging in Slack about manipulations. Nolan's phone buzzing, he was recording it all. When Mia lashed out at me, Mrs. S revealed divorce papers. In the hour that followed, the room watched Mia's carefully constructed world crumble. Rachel spoke up too, admitting complicity. By midnight, she'd fled in tears, mascara ruined. Mrs. S pulled me aside quietly, "Thank you for not disappearing." I drove back to my B&B feeling lighter than I had in years. Next day, my phone pinged again, apologies from every corner, cleanup crew scrambling. Even the man who disappeared years ago reached out, thanking me for uncovering the truth. Final update: within 48 hours, Mia and Sam were ousted. Mrs. S submitted piles of evidence exposing workplace harassment and misuse of funds. Lawsuits follow. The ex-boyfriend filed one too. Others came forward. Mia posted a tear-soaked apology video, claiming victimhood. Rachel responded publicly with proof. Social media tore Mia apart. Mrs. S won divorce and assets. Sam's career is in ruins. Mia moved back in with her parents. Friends who backed her. Facing backlash at work and online. Nolan sent an apology, blocked. Lily still scrubbing her past statements. Me. I just signed a lease on a new flat, landed a raise at work, met someone new, still taking it slow. Revenge wasn't mine to deliver, it was delivered by truth, time, and accountability. Best of all, watching everything fall apart because people chose dishonesty. That's closure. Final word: karma works, don't fuel it. Let life show the full picture. It's been 6 months since the company party, and some days, it still feels surreal. Watching Mia's lies unravel was satisfying, yes, but life doesn't stop after a storm. It just gets quieter. And in that quiet, you figure out who you are without all the noise. I moved into a new apartment. Not massive, but it's mine. Light pours in through the windows in the morning. I've filled it with plants, shelves of books, and an espresso machine I can't quite figure out. Works better than ever. After Mia and Sam were removed, the company culture shifted fast. Turns out a lot of people had been holding their breath for years, waiting for the weight to lift. When I was promoted, it wasn't flashy, it was honest. Deserved. And that made all the difference. As for my personal life, there's someone. Her name's Harper. We met in the laundry room, of all places. I dropped an entire basket of socks, and she was the only person who didn't pretend not to see. She laughed, handed me one, and we ended up talking for an hour in a hallway that smelled like dryer sheets. Harper's different. She asks real questions. The kind that make you pause before answering. She's thoughtful, sarcastic in the best way, and refreshingly, uninterested in social media. She didn't know anything about what happened with Mia. I didn't bring it up right away. But you can't keep those kinds of things hidden forever. One night, as we were watching some documentary about unethical tech startups, she turned to me and asked, "So, who burned you?" I told her everything. The whole story. Every betrayal, every fake smile, every twist and backstab. I kept waiting for her to react like most people did, shock, pity, maybe judgment. But she just nodded and said, "Damn. That's a hell of a mess." Then she added, "But you're not in it anymore. You're writing the sequel." For a while, things were simple. Peaceful, even. Until the letter arrived. It came in a plain envelope with no return address. My name printed in neat handwriting. Inside was a single sheet of paper and an old photo. The sheet just read, "You should know she's not done." The photo was of Mia, smiling beside a man I didn't recognize, date stamped 2 months ago in another city. I almost laughed. Was this some weird prank? I tossed the letter in a drawer and tried to forget it. But a week later, Harper called me while I was at work. She sounded off. "Hey, do you know a Mia Rowan?" I froze. "Yeah, why?" "She came by the bookstore. Asked for me by name." Harper manages a small independent bookshop downtown. Mia had never been there, never met Harper, there was no logical reason for her to show up. "She didn't say much," Harper continued. "Just smiled, said she was an old friend of yours. Gave me this." It was a small card with a handwritten note, "We all move on differently. Some of us start over. Others clean up loose ends." That night, I dug the letter back out. Something wasn't right. The next morning, I drove out to visit Mark, the guy who'd left town after Mia and Sam ruined him. He and I had kept in touch. I needed to know, had she done this before? Had she come back? Mark nodded grimly. "She doesn't handle consequences well." After I filed the lawsuit, she reached out. Apologized. Said she was in a dark place. Then I found out she'd been contacting my ex, my family, even my boss. My stomach churned. "What did you do?" He smirked. "I sent her a cease and desist. Blocked her on every platform. Never replied. Eventually, she stopped. I should have done the same. But I needed to know what Mia was trying to do. What unfinished business meant." That night, I called Lily. She hadn't reached out since the company party. When she picked up, her voice was tight. "She's back, huh? Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I hoped she'd disappear for good." Lily admitted Mia had been bouncing from city to city, trying to charm her way into new circles. It always ended the same: drama, accusations, chaos. But this time was different. "She wants something from you," Lily said. "Not love. Not revenge. Something else." It didn't take long to find out what. The next week, my building super handed me a manila envelope. "Someone left this for you. No name." Inside were printed screenshots, photos of Harper and me, taken without our knowledge. In the grocery store. Walking to her car. Even one through my apartment window. No notes. Just images. I went straight to the police. They said unless there was a direct threat, there wasn't much they could do. They advised security cameras and a restraining order. Harper handled it better than I did. You don't run from shadows, she said. You put them in the light. So we did. I posted everything online, discreetly, no names, no drama. Just the facts. People connected the dots. Others came forward, people from Mia's past, different cities, same tactics. Same mess. Mrs. S reached out again. She'd been quietly tracking Mia's activities since the divorce. She's a grifter, she said. Not in the money sense, emotionally. She latches on, bleeds people dry, then moves on. I asked why she was warning me again. Because you're the only one who ever faced her head on and lived to tell it. Eventually, the photos stopped. The letters stopped. The noise faded. We moved on. Harper and I started a podcast, small at first, focused on recovering from toxic relationships, manipulative personalities, surviving emotional warfare. It took off faster than we expected. People wanted to talk. To share. To heal. Somewhere in that process, I realized something: Mia didn't win. Not even close. She left behind scorched earth, yes. But all it did was make room for something new to grow. Now, I wake up next to someone who knows everything about me and stays anyway. I go to work knowing I earned my place. And every time someone messages us saying our podcast helped them recognize the red flags early, I know this story mattered. The past didn't break me. It built me. So, Mia, if you're still watching, if this was your last play, I hope you realize something. You didn't end my story. You just gave it a hell of a middle. I didn't think I had another chapter to write. After everything with Mia, the manipulation, the stalking, the fear, I thought the story ended with that quiet sort of peace that comes after the storm. The podcast Harper and I started was helping people. We were healing. Life was finally calm. But calm isn't the same as complete. It started with a message from someone I didn't know. A woman named Ivy. Her name didn't ring a bell, but her words chilled me. I think she's after my brother now. I found your podcast. Please, we need to talk. It had been nearly a year since Mia disappeared from our radar. Her social media remained dark, our mutual contacts silent. Part of me had hoped she'd faded into some anonymous city, moved on to ruin someone else's life far away from mine. But here she was. Again. I met Ivy at a small cafe across town. She looked younger than I expected, mid-20s, sharp-eyed, and serious. She goes by a different name now, she said without preamble. Marissa. She met my brother Oliver at a startup incubator in Austin. He's been head over heels since week 1. But I started seeing signs: he's distancing himself from everyone, changing his routines, even selling personal stuff to invest in her vision. Sound familiar? Too familiar. I asked for a photo. It was Mia. Hair dyed a shade darker, new name, new wardrobe, but the smile was unmistakable. She's isolating him, Ivy continued. And I think she's planning something worse this time. I could have walked away. Said, not my circus, not my monkeys. But that's the problem with surviving someone like Mia. Once you know what they're capable of, looking away feels like betrayal. So Harper and I made a choice. We'd help. The first step was reaching Oliver. Not to confront him, he wouldn't believe us yet, but to plant seeds. We invited him to be a guest on the podcast, under the theme, Building Healthy Business Partnerships. He was flattered. Showed up early. Brought Marissa with him. I hadn't seen Mia in person since the company party. Seeing her again, calm and poised, pretending to be someone else, almost made me laugh. Almost. She knew exactly who I was, but pretended not to. Introduced herself like we were strangers. During the episode, Oliver spoke passionately about their tech startup, how Marissa had this vision that no one else understood. Harper, brilliant as ever, asked gentle questions. Mia dodged most of them gracefully. But her mask slipped for half a second when Harper mentioned emotional transparency in co-founders. Her jaw tightened. Just a blink. But we saw it. After the recording, Mia cornered me near the studio exit. Still pretending to be the hero, she hissed, voice low. No pretending, I said. I just stopped letting people like you write the story. She smiled. But it didn't reach her eyes. Careful, Ethan. You don't know what Oliver and I are building. I shrugged. I didn't know what you were building with Sam either. Look how that turned out. She stepped back, measured me for a second, then disappeared with Oliver. That night, Ivy called. What do we do now? We started gathering everything Oliver had posted. His business filings. Any connections Mia had slipped into. Harper tracked down former acquaintances from her last few cities, people who recognized the pattern. Her fingerprints were all over multiple failed ventures. Debt. Sudden shutdowns. Smeared partners. We weren't alone anymore. The podcast had created a network, dozens of people who'd seen what Harper called emotional arsonists at work. It wasn't about vengeance. It was about stopping the cycle. We sent everything to Ivy. She took it from there. 2 weeks later, Oliver showed up at our door. I expected anger, or denial. Instead, he looked hollow. Betrayed. She emptied the business account, he said, voice flat. Took the startup's prototype. Left a note saying I wasn't strong enough for her vision. He had a duffel bag over his shoulder. I didn't know where else to go. We let him in. Made coffee. Sat in silence. Sometimes that's all someone needs, someone who understands the wreckage. That night, Harper said something I won't forget. We can't save everyone. But sometimes just catching someone before they fall too far, that's enough. We helped Oliver get back on his feet. He moved in with Ivy for a while. Last I heard, he joined another startup, one with better boundaries, and no mysterious investors. As for Mia, we traced her movements to a new city. A new business. A new name again. But this time, people were talking. Her name came up in forums. Her tactics dissected in podcasts, not just ours. She hadn't changed. But the world around her had. That's the thing about predators, once you shine enough light, they run out of shadows to hide in. We didn't celebrate. It wasn't a victory parade. It was just quiet satisfaction. One night, Harper and I were walking home from a book signing event, our second one this month. We'd become those people, sharing our story on stages, in interviews, through earbuds across the globe. I keep thinking it's over, I said. That we've told every part. Harper took my hand. It's not about the ending. It's about making sure people like her can't write other people's beginnings. I looked at her then, really looked, and realized we'd done more than survive Mia. We'd turned pain into a purpose. Not all stories end in ruin. Some become lanterns for others. And that's the best chapter yet.